This time on Street Rat Garage, we are letting nothing stop us from coming out and looking for good deals at the auction. So yeah, it is a nasty rainy day here at the Indiana State Auction, but it's a good day. Any day that you can come out and look at some cars, definitely a good day. Getting wet a little bit is not going to hurt you. But the one thing you have to keep in mind is looking at cars in the rain is probably one of the worst ways to buy cars ever. It makes cars look way better than what they should, make them look nice and shiny, and covers up a ton of imperfections. So you have to look at these extra close. So the first one we're going to look at is this 2013 Dodge Charger. Now, it had a few issues listed in the ad for it. It's the description of the vehicle. It says this 2013 has the 5.7 in it, but it says it's got the dreaded engine tick, the Hemi engine tick. So if you don't know, I've said it quite a few other times, but these cars idle a lot, and these Dodge Chargers, they do not like idle time at all. And they don't get proper oiling up into the cam and lifter valleys. So when they sit there and idle, they get low on oil up there, and they have a tendency to wipe out the lifters or the cam lobes. You know, one of those or both of those. So it is not easy to replace the cam and lifters in one of these cars. It's quite the task. But if you have the ability to do it, you can get these at a relatively good price. I mean, right now, as this car still has a few days left on it, but it has a bid of $1,700 on it. Is that a little bit high for it, or is it? It's going to go more than 17. I say this is probably going to go for about 25. But sometimes people don't read the ad or don't think that an engine tick is that big of a deal. But they are. So sometimes people overbid. Right now, if it goes for $1,700, they're still doing pretty good, but definitely going to go for more than that. But this particular car here, it says it has an oil leak somewhere, like the rear main seal. They're saying that it might have a little bit of oil leak. It's saying that it has 2 holes in the deck lid, which it does have 2 holes in the deck lid, but as you can see, they've been plugged. So they have a bunch of plugs. So when they take the antennas off, they go ahead and put a little plug in there. They don't do that on all the cars, but they always list it. They list like everything that's wrong with this car or that has been altered on this thing. But it does still has a police center console in it. It doesn't have any of the plates on it. It's locked up. We can't look in it right now. But you can come and look at these cars, make an appointment, and you can go through them, start them up, whatever you have to do with it. But yeah, this well, it's got a little. They didn't mention this hole right here either. So they had marker lights right there, and there should be another one on the other side, of course, right there. And I imagine there should be a couple in the back as well. Let's see. Does it have them in the back? Oh, no, I guess not. They must have just had some deck lights. See, this one is sort of a gray color. It's not used for like regular patrol. See, it doesn't even have a spotlight on it. So it didn't have any marks where it had a light bar or anything. So this is one of the I don't know, detective cars or what have you. It's not an undercover car because it still has a little bit of lights on it. So admin car, something like that. So it's weird that this one has the engine problems. Usually the admin cars aren't set and idled a lot, but sometimes these guys use these cars for doing part-time gigs, security gigs, and they'll let them sit there and idle. So good possibility that's what happened to this car. Now it also says that this car has foggy headlights, which it doesn't appear to have right here, but yeah, it's like I said, it's raining, and that's covering up the fact that that has foggy headlights on it. They look a lot clearer, so that's one of the things you got to keep in mind, but foggy headlights are no real big deal. It also says it has control arm bushings that are also not great. So oil leak, foggy headlights, control arm bushings, and has an engine tick. So all those things that need a little bit of repair. So keep that in mind when you are bidding. Make sure to read the descriptions of these cars. Next up, we have a 2018 Dodge Charger, and well, she's been bumped a little bit. Slid, is that aluminum hood? Almost looks aluminum. I don't know if these have aluminum hoods on it or not, but she bumped into something, you know, whether it was in a police chase. I seriously doubt it. This looks like another admin car, probably just some sort of weird little accident. Everybody has an accident, so there's no spotlight on this one either, and it didn't have any overhead lights on it, no markings that dictate that. And it also has a plug in the trunk. It only had one, so no other lights. Look, that one has the backup indicators on it, so that's a little bit more fancy one. This is not a bad car. So once they get a few miles on them, over 100,000 miles, they're not gonna sit there and repair this little bit of damage that it has, especially if this one, you know, has a tick. Let me check and see if this one does have the tick in it. So for this one, it says that it runs, the battery is weak, check engine lights on, right front headlight is out, and front struts are leaking, carrier bearing is very bad. And passenger door is damaged, right front fender and bumper cover is damaged, right headlight assembly is damaged, fender well cover is against the car, fender well cover. So that would be this right here. So it's scraping. So this got in an accident and it was towed right in here and just left because there's some other issues with it. It doesn't say that it has the engine ticking thing in it, but kind of maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So it would be a good idea to come out here and look at this one before, but it does have the 5.7 in it. But there's a good chance that this one has a good engine in it, and they just have a bunch of miles on it, so it's time to upgrade. So they're selling this one off because they don't want to fix the little carrier bearing deal, and they don't want to fix all this mess right here. So that cost them a few $1,000s to fix. So they're like, you know what, we're getting a new car. So that one's out, and then it's off to a auction, and he's in a new car right now. Okay, the rain's letting up a little bit here, so I had to take that raincoat off. It's starting to get hot, but this only has 128,000 miles on it. So yeah, there's a good possibility that this does have a good engine in it, still good cam and lifters in it. So there's not much to fix. I mean, the bumper, the hood, the fender, the door looks like it's okay. So the headlight and I don't know, maybe the core support a little bit behind there, but easy fix on this one. This is a good flip deal, but this may go for a little bit more money because people are going to know if it doesn't have the engine tick and this is all you have to replace, those prices are going to go up, because cosmetics is easy. Pulling the engine apart, not so much. Now here is one that I wanted you to look at. There was some stuff going on right there for sure. So that's not the only bullet holes in this one. We got 2 right here, 3 right there in the windshield, 1, 2 in the A-pillar, and a whole bunch right here. And these look like they're different calipers. This is a lot smaller than that. Look how big that one's huge. That's like the end of my finger right there. And that's just a little guy. It's like a 22. I don't know what that is, but it's huge. And wow, it's like somebody was shooting at this, and these looks like it was peppered by a shotgun or something right there. And this one, that didn't even go through. So it's like a whole bunch of people were shooting at this, and maybe at even different angles. This angle, these 2 angles go in this way, and these are going that way, and this is kind of going, actually this is peeled back. It kind of looks like it was going in the opposite direction. That looks like it was going that way. So I don't know what was going on, but there was a shootout. Oh, this window's broken. What else is there? There's a lot going on here. The back window's broken out. They left a lot of the center console in there, though. Man, would you really want this car? Hard telling what was damaged on the electronics going in through that door, and wonder if they went all the way through. Wonder if there's bullet holes on the other side. Yep, there's bullet holes on the other side too. So, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, shot from multiple angles. Now this is a little bit odd here. There's a little damage, but it doesn't look like it was struck by another car. Now you tell me what you think happened. More like, boom, maybe somebody was hit. Maybe they hit the person that was shooting at them, maybe. I mean, if somebody was shooting at me and they were standing in front of the car, I might have a tendency to do that as well. But none of the fascia is scraped up. So it looks like something big but heavy hit the front end of this car. That is, wow, that is quite scary. I think this is really probably a parts car. I mean, there's a lot to fix on this thing right here. But how cool would it be to just to drive this around with all the bullet holes in it? That would be crazy. This will probably go, I mean, there's a lot of good parts. This is probably going to have a really good engine in it because it was taken out of service for all that damage. They're not going to fix all that. That was a 2019, did I say that? Anyway, a newer car. It's going to have a good engine and transmission in it. It's going to be worth a lot just in parts alone. Or somebody that has parts, they're going to throw doors, and it needs all 4 doors, a hood, the front end. That's a lot. Front and back glass and side, both side glasses are busted out too. So that's a lot to do right there. That is a crazy amount of work, but still pretty good car. But man, that's scary right there. All right, next up we have a Crown Vic. Not many of these that are still in service. And well, I guess this one is no longer in service, but is just coming out of service. Now this is state police as well. But if you look here at this crest, it is a little bit different than what would be on a normal car like over there. Those, they have like a V that comes down and a different striping package. But this is what's called the Capitol State Police, or Capitol Police, or State Capitol Police. I can't remember what exactly the name of the organization is, but they help in Indianapolis, downtown area mostly, protect with all the buildings, all the state-owned buildings and properties that we have down here. So that's their job, and unfortunately they're not as funded as well as, you know, the regular state police with the, you know, the fancy cars. They have to hold on to their stuff a little bit longer, a little bit lower of a budget on that end. They don't get paid as much either. So it's a little bit sad it's not equal across the board, but I mean, at least they got to drive this cool Crown Vic for a long time, a good long time actually. But they don't put as many miles on it because they're not running up and down the interstate all the time. See, it says State Police on the back. Yeah, Indiana State Police there. So this is a police interceptor package vehicle still. So it had a couple antennas up there. It had a light bar on it, as we can see from the witness marks there. They took the center console out of this one because they probably had to put it in another car because, like I said, they have tighter budgets. Old style spotlight on it. So yeah, not as great being a Capitol State Police officer, but still not a bad gig. Oh, wires are coming right up. They just clipped the wires off of this one and kept going. But for a Crown Vic of this age and just coming out of service, it is still in remarkably good shape. All this is going to clean up with one of those wheels you use to remove the glue. I can't remember what those are called, but I need one. So we're going to look at this car and see how much it goes through. Crown Vics are really starting to go up again in value, so we might not be able to get this one, but we're going to at least see how much it goes for. Now we have a 2008 Dodge Ram truck, which like our previous Dodge Dakota, and we did have another Dodge Ram, this is a DNR vehicle, Department of Resources, right? They're pretty much the state park people that go around and take care of it. They're not just police, they also do, you know, the maintenance and all that other stuff that's needed in the park. So this was not a police vehicle. There's no spotlights, and it would have been an extended cab, and it had a work box on the back of it. But these guys, they get rusty. They are not taken very good care of. I don't think they're take-home vehicles, so there's not a lot of pride in these right here, but are in good shape on the inside, or at least this one is. And these usually have the 4.7 liter in them, and they run pretty good. This one has, I think this is two-wheel drive, but it has some chunky tires on it. No snow plow or anything on the front of this one, so we're good there. It shouldn't be too rusty on the underside, but usually when the frame's rusted, they list that. But it's got rocker rust and it's got bed rust. See if it has a hitch on it. Yep, it's got a Reese hitch on it with some damage on the back there. The bed is still pretty good shape, so definitely a work truck and could still be used as a work truck. So I imagine they finally got tired of looking at this one and went ahead and upgraded these guys into something a little bit better. Who knows if they got a brand new one, but hopefully they got something a lot nicer than this old guy right here. So this one says that it runs, but it has oil pan leaking, and the transmission pan has some leaks and rust holes in the bed, and they pretty much just list all the rust and stuff. So like I said before, they are pretty good at listing all the stuff that's wrong with this, no matter how small it is. It has a little bit of drip on the oil pan, they list it. Has a little bit of drip on the transmission pan, they list it. So it'd be nice to look under there, but not crawling around on the ground right now. Next up, we have this 2019 Dodge Charger. Now this one also has ticking in the front end, so you're gonna have to be careful when buying this one, because 5.7, it's been ticking. This one actually shows a picture of the odometer, and it has like 3,000, it has like total of 6,000 hours on it, with about 3,000 of those being idle hours. So once you get about halfway, your cam's gone. So if you have 6,000 total and half of that is in idle hours, you can pretty much believe that the cam is wiped out on this particular vehicle. So this is a cam and lifters job to be done right here. So it has a good body on it though. You got just one antenna spot right there, and the rest of the car looks in pretty good shape. I just imagine that this got taken out of service for the cam and lifters and had a bunch of miles on it, so it's time to retire it and go to the old Durango that they're going to now that there is, you know, no more Chargers State Trooper. So nice body, good for an engine swap, maybe a Hellcat swap, which is what I would like to do when I find one of these that's a reasonable price. So we're gonna look at this one. We're gonna see how much it goes through at the auction, and I don't think we're gonna get lucky enough to buy it, because even with the bad engine, these usually go for about $6 grand, sometimes 7. Well, that's pretty much it on the stuff that's going through this week. So we're gonna go inside and look and see how much the stuff's going for. But there's some more cars, a whole line of cars, and all these will be going up for sale through the auction. Man, this one got beat up pretty good, didn't it? Wow, they got smashed real good. Well, at least this one ought to be cheap, and it might have a good 5.7 in it. So if you're smart, you buy the nice one over there, and then you buy the junk one right here, and you just swap the engines. Makes it a whole lot easier, especially if they're the same years. So that one has the old spotlight on it. So they reuse those sometimes, but most of them have the LED on it. That's a Ford Taurus, right? Oh, look at that one. I like that one. That's just like the one we're driving right now. So keep our eye on this one too when it goes through. So we got a lot of future vehicles that we need to look at. I don't know where this Ford Ranger came from, but it's cool. So Crown Vic, Bullet car, the truck, Charger, and the other Charger. So that is what we are going to be looking at. So let's get inside, see what these things go for. All right, it is auction time. We're back inside and we are almost ready to go and see what these things are going to go for. First off, this is govdeals.com. That's the platform we're going to be bidding on today. Let's take a look at it real close, because every time somebody asks me what is the side of the auction and how I can bid. So let's just do that real quick, get it out of the way. So right here is our website, GovDeals, and it is govdeals.com. So just go to Google, type in govdeals.com, and this will pop up. And all that you have to do is sign in, put all your information in, which I have made a video about that before. So go back and look at my videos in auction playlist, and you will find some how to bid videos. One on Arturo, which used to be Joyride, and GovDeals here, which I go through and explain step by step how you need to go about looking for these deals. So govdeals.com, that is the website. And all you have to do is go into searches here, advanced searches. And if you want to search in your area, you just can come down here somewhere, radius within 100 miles, enter your zip code right here and hit enter. So that'll take you to all the stuff that you want to search for in 25, 50, 75, 100, 250, or even nationwide, all the way. However far you want to search is how far you can go. Now the first truck that we have up here that we're going to bid on is this 2008 Dodge Ram. And it has a $1,500 bid already. So this, earlier today, when we were looking at it, it had $700 only on it. And that was only like 4 or 5 hours ago. So within the time that we went and looked at it till the time that is right now, $1,500 or another $700 has been bid up on it. So this is that truck right here. And you know, it's got some rust. It's in okay shape. It's got 184,000 miles on it. And what it did have? It had, I think it had the 4.7 liter in it. We can look down here. This is all our information. Dodge Ram 1500, 2008, 184,000 miles, clean title. The lot number, the inventory number, DNR. That's who it come from. And all our information here. Where's the size of the engine? I thought it, yeah, there it is. 2008 Dodge 1500 with 4.7 liter engine in it. Okay, so that's what that has. That's all the information here. And it's getting ready to close. They bid up to $1,500 and then stopped. So with 15 seconds left, let's see if they go ahead and bump that bid up a little bit further. 9 seconds, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does it close? And yep, it closed at $1,500. I wasn't going to bid $1,500. I would have bid up to probably 11, maybe 12 at the most, but that was just a little bit higher than I want to go. I like selling cars and trucks at about $1,500. So somebody got, you know, it's an okay deal. It's not one that you're going to make, you know, much money off of flipping it. I mean, if you were to buy this, you would have to go back in and do some work and clean it up real good and probably patch up some of that rust and all that other good stuff. Then the price goes up to, you know, $2,300, $2,500 maybe. And it gets a little bit harder to sell these vehicles at that price. Somebody would buy it eventually, but not what we're looking for. So it's fine. There are plenty more, as we saw, vehicles going through the state auction, and there's a city auction coming up pretty soon, and actually two of them, one for the fire department, one for the police vehicles. So there's going to be more cars and trucks that we can see. We don't have to by everyone. But let's go on and let's look at some of this other stuff that we have for sale. So next up for bid, we are going to have that 2019 Dodge Charger, the ones with all the bullet holes in it. Let's have a look at that real quick. It looks like there is only a minute and 46 seconds or so to go in this auction. It's up to $3,300 right now. Usually these guys go for pretty good money, but this one, there's a lot of damage to it. But I think I would be happier getting this one than some of those others because it needs some body work, but it doesn't need a whole lot of engine or drivetrain work. It says it had the 5.7 in it, starts with a boost, brake light, tire lights are on, right headlights damaged and all that other stuff, bullet holes, but doesn't say anything about ticking or knocking or transmission. It was obviously in service, so we know that it runs, and it ran right up until somebody shot it, and I'm sure it was towed in on a tow truck, and then evidence techs must have came out and took all these pictures and all that fun stuff. Let's look at the idle hours. The idle hours is 2,613. And it has a total of 4,900. That's under half, but if you look here, it only has 104,000 miles on it. So the idle hours are a bit higher than what I like. I would like to see it more like 1,000 with that kind of miles on it, that kind of total hours on it. But $3,300. It might not go any higher than that. So let's see if she closes out here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Yeah, it closed. $3,300 for 2019. That's not bad. I don't know. I was going to bid on that, but I don't know. The other issue is they shot out the rear glass. They shot out the two side glasses, and they shot out the front windshield. They didn't shoot it out, but there's bullet holes in it. We saw that. So, probably close to $1,000 worth of glass has been damaged on it. Then we got a hood, a fender, and the whole front fascia. Oh, the doors, I mean, I guess you could body filler those or something, but there's probably be easier and cheaper. So probably another $1,000 worth of body work, just buying the parts, hood, fender, and front fascia. Probably more than that, probably about $1,500 I would guess. And anything that might be wrong on the inside. We don't know what happened to any of the electronics from where it was shot. So it might have had some bullets in the intake manifold or something from those bullets in the hood area, but we don't know that. But $3,300 I say is a good deal for whoever got it, even if they have to part it out. So let's go and see what the others have to offer. They've staggered these to where they're not running at the same time. I believe the next couple are running at the same time, but these are actually running separately. So they're making some improvements there. So let's look at the other 2 or 3 that we have for sale coming up. Now we are back with the 2009 Ford Crown Victoria. I think we have 3 of them. This is a different segment, and they have 3 of them that are going to close all at the same time on this one. They staggered out the last ones, and now they're going to run these last, is it the last 3? We'll have to see. Let's look here and see what we have. All right, here we have the 18 Dodge Challenger. It's going to expire here in 7 minutes, as well as the 2019 Dodge Charger, the white one, which also 7 minutes, and the 09 Ford Crown Vic, which will also expire. So all 3 of these are going to expire at the same time. So we're going to have to open up a couple extra windows or something, and so we can have a look at these all at the same time. So let's open up some windows here. All right, we got all 3 of our windows opened up. So our 18, our 19 Charger, and our Crown Vic, and we have 5 minutes left to go. And just in the time that we opened up those windows, this Crown Vic has been jumping up little by little. When I first opened up the window before we started recording again, it was only at $1,500, so it's already bid up to $600 in just a short amount of time here. So our black one is at $33.83 and our white one is at $35. So, and our Crown Vic is at 101 or 2101. The Crown Vic, people are really wanting these Crown Vics. They're starting to run out of Crown Vics. Not a whole lot of departments have these cars anymore. This one has 189,000 miles on it, so it's got some miles on it, but these cars are pretty well taken care of. The Crown Vics were. The Dodge Chargers, well, this one's kind of beat up. I mean, it's got some dents on it. Remember we looked at that, but overall it's not bad. $33.83 on the black one. What was wrong with the white one again? Let's see. Engine runs, has a ticking sound, hole in a bumper, and trunk from the lights, and the antennas. So this one has the bad cam and lifters in it, and it's going to require extensive work to get it going again. And it has 143,000 miles, and here we can see the idle hours are almost exactly half of the total miles. So yeah, that's not what you want. You don't want those total miles to be up, or those idle miles to be anywhere close to half of the total miles, and that's where you get that engine tick from. Just way too much idle time. So let's let this clock run down just a couple more minutes, and we'll come back and have a look at it and see how we're doing. Okay, we are below a minute on the auctions, and let's look at our black Dodge Charger here. Our black Dodge Charger, they have been steadily bidding it up. It's at $3,700. This is the 18. The 19 is at $45. Now, myself, I would rather buy the black one, the 18, than the 19. The 19 is going to be a lot of engine work, unless somebody is just going to try to pass this off as, you know, the tick is no big deal sort of thing. But, and I'm sure a lot of people would do this. Just tell them like it's just making a little noise, or it's an exhaust leak or something like that, which isn't right. So $5,300 on that one, and it's getting ready to close, and $38 on that one, and it closed at $38. And see, that's the problem, these close at the same time, and this closed at $54. Well, did our Crown Vic just closed at $21.26. So when these things close, they close quick. The bidding's usually drawn out a little bit more with people bidding back and forth, but it appears like these just timed out, and it didn't appear like they put the time back on. Usually on these, when they get down and somebody bids on it at the last second, they add about another minute to it, and that didn't seem to happen. So that's interesting. That's a new development. Maybe there's a change in the system here. So that's something you're going to want to be cautious of. This especially this one right here. The bids jumped up quite a bit. It was at 4,000 something. We saw it at about a minute, and it should have jumped up more time, and it gave some people a better chance to bid, but it just timed right on out like the old eBay bids used to do. So let's recap. We have our 2018 Dodge Charger that just has body damage and appears to be a good running driving vehicle, a two-wheel drive 2018 with 128,000 miles on it. It says it runs, battery's weak, check engine lights on, headlights out, front struts leaking, has a very bad passenger bearing. Let's start over. Carrier bearing is very bad, and passenger door is damaged. Right front fender and la-da-da, we looked at all that. So it does have the carrier bearing damage, which is no big deal. So how many miles? 128,000 versus this one that went, what, $1,000 more? 38, more than $1,000 more. Yeah, that's quite a bit more. And it has 143,000 miles on it, though it is a newer year. Is this an all-wheel drive? No, it's just a two-wheel drive as well, 5.7, but it has the engine ticking. I definitely would rather do the body work than to pull that engine apart. That is going to be a mess. So, and then the Crown Vic, which went for $2,126, which is pretty good nowadays for what Crown Vics are bringing. But next week there will be a big Crown Vic sale at the Kessler Schaefer auction in Indianapolis, and I am going to go there and see if we can't find a Crown Vic. The really good ones sell for about this amount, the $2,126, $2,126. And that's what this one went for, plus fees. So usually those Crown Vics in similar shape might go a little bit less because there's a lot more of them to choose from and not just one at this auction. So let's go to that auction and see if we can't pick up one or two Crown Victorias for ourselves. Now we have to wait for our 2013 Dodge Charger to come up for bids, and that'll wrap it up. So hang on just a second here and we'll get the 2013 Dodge Charger, see what it goes for. Okay, now we are ready for the 2013 Dodge Charger, and it has 5 minutes left, and it's at $2,105, $2,105. So let's take a look at that real quick. All right, here it is right here. Now we're down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And this is our Charger. This is the one, what was the deal with it? Let's keep an eye on our price, $2,105. It hasn't changed yet. So it's a 13. It is a two-wheel drive with a 5.7 liter engine in it. Rear-wheel drive right here. It says it runs, engine ticking, and tire pressure monitor lights on, 2 holes in the trunk, headlights are foggy, and control arm bushings are worn out. Oil is leaking from near back of motor, which is usually not a big deal because they say that about everything. No matter how small the leak is, you can go splash a little bit of oil under there and they'll say it's leaking. So 2 minutes and 35 seconds here, 2105 still. And I want to see if this time changes if somebody else bids on it here, because at about the 2 minute mark, whenever you bid on it, you usually put a little more time, what's called a soft close. So soft close is when somebody bids at it, on 2 minutes, 1 minute, whatever they set up, and it gives a little bit of extra time so somebody else can come in there and bid on it. So we're counting it down to 2 minutes almost here. So let's have a look at this car real quick. So it's still 2105, nobody's bid on it yet. So this one was in pretty good shape overall. Yeah, everything was good on it. It's just, it's got that engine tick. You can see here the center console is still in there, the police center console, but they take all the plates out of the center. It's like that on my my Tahoe that I bought. They take all the out all the good stuff there. So engine idle hours. This one says, well, it's not saying. I don't know what's going on there. So engine idle hours, we don't know what the idle hours are. It just has the total miles, 133,000. Is that right? What it says down here? Yeah, 133,000 miles. It doesn't have it's not showing the engine idle hours for whatever reason, unless its engine idle hours is 818, which would actually be really good. So, okay, somebody bid on it. So it's 2130, but we're still underneath a minute here. So I'm thinking that they're discontinuing and they're just letting the time run down on these auctions. So 155, 45 seconds. Still no more time added to the clock there. So it's almost over. It's a pretty nice looking car. It just has that engine tick problem in it, which we didn't get to start this one, but usually the engine tick means the cam is wearing out, and You're gonna have to pull half the motor apart in order to get a new cam in there. And usually what people do is they take the whole front end off of the car and start taking apart. You have to take the heads off, the intake, the heads, everything. You have to take everything off and pull that cam out the front. So it's got, oh, yeah, look, it glitched a little bit, but it closed. There it is, 21 to 26. So apparently the rules have changed and no more real soft bidding. It added like a second on there, and that's about it. It glitched just a little bit, but looks like the soft bids are gone. So $3,126 for that charger. You think that's a good deal? I don't know, maybe. I guess it just depends on how much work you are willing to do on one of those cars. You can make some money off of that if you have the ability to do all the work yourself. But if you pay somebody, that is going to be expensive for sure. But I just want to, don't go anywhere. We're done with the auction, but they added a couple more cars. We won't be able to see these go through because they'll go through after the video. But look, and let's see what they added here. So these are the items that they've added since the close of the other auction. Not since it closed, but they added it somewhere along the line. It's usually like 5 days. This one has 2 days left. There's a 07 Express van. It's got $1,000 on it. There's this big Chevy truck. It has $1,000 on it. It's 22 Charger. This is the one that, did we see this one? We saw this one, right? It was sitting at the lot. It's the one that had the crunched up rear end on it, but it's a 22 and it only has 42,000 miles on it. But the rear quarter panel doesn't really show it real good. There it is. The rear quarter panel is smashed on that one, but a 22 with that kind of miles. But the problem is, I think it's a V6 car. It has 42,000 miles. Yeah, it's only a 3.6 liter, but it's an all-wheel drive. So if you're good at body work, you know, that's one for you. But they took the front nose cone off of this one. I don't remember if that one was on there or off of there when we looked at it. It must have been off of there. Surely it was. But yeah, it's kind of crunched up on the sides. But there's that one that'll be going through. And they added a 16 Charger. See, I like this older Chargers. The 16, 15 and newer have this style front end on it. So you don't have to pay as much for these cars when they go through. But this is a 5.7 rear wheel drive, which is what I really would like to have. It has the engine ticking and a bunch of little things on it. This may go pretty cheap. We'll have to keep an eye out on this one. But they are always adding constantly to this list in Indianapolis. This is Indiana Fleet Services. All the state police and state vehicles, state-owned vehicles, go through this auction right here. And again, you can go to govdeals.com and put in your zip code and how big of an area radius that you want to search, and they will pull up vehicles in your area. And keep an eye on them because smaller towns don't always post every week, so they may post once a month or what have you. So yeah, that's all that we have. We will be going to the police auction, not the police auction, but the Indianapolis police vehicle sale, which is different from the Indiana State police vehicle sale. So that is a live auction. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get updates on the all the auctions. We'll be doing some other auctions later as well, not just state, not just impounds. We're going to go see some estate auction sales later. So keep an eye out for that. But that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Street Rag Garage. Until next time.